Hey folks, it's Dave Neal here with the Rush Hour podcast. We have bombshell updates regarding the Epstein cover-up. Now it's being reported that there are 3 missing minutes in the security footage of Epstein's jail cell. They initially said they had no video. Then they said, oh, we found some video, proves he didn't, there's nothing nefarious going on. And then they find that 1 minute that was kind of off. And they said, oh yeah, every night the things reset. Oh, really? Security footage really wants to miss a minute? And they're like, yeah, it was from 1999. It's a Y2K issue. Well, now the FBI's Jeffrey Epstein prison video had nearly 3 minutes cut out. I'm going to share this story, and then I'm going to share which MAGA politicians are questioning the Department of Justice and their intentions right now. There's a new poll out that only 3% of people are satisfied with the response they're getting about this Epstein cover-up. And we have to remember, this isn't just some random story. This is a gigantic you-know-what ring of blackmail, and it's so ridiculous with the 1,000 victims. It's so much bigger than we can really even imagine, and yet we're just not getting those answers. Metadata from the raw Epstein prison video shows approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds were removed from one of the 2 stitched together clips. The cut starts right at the missing minute. So, yeah, this is the problem when you don't share the raw video footage. Is now they're showing all of this different metadata. They can crack into it and show just where it was edited, what software was edited on, in this case, Adobe Premiere. So there it is, 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Is that enough time for somebody to come in and fake a suicide, if that's, the allegation? Here we have Tara Palmary describing how the Epstein story, it's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about a 2-tier justice system. And we've been saying that all along, right? They want to divide us left versus right, but it's up versus down. It's you and I and whatever our political beliefs are, and then it's the ruling class, that they can make decisions that benefit them and not us, and clearly get away with it.
It's really a story of 2-tier justice, of what happens when wealthy people break the law and when they commit crimes against poor, young, rich girls, and what happens, especially when a lot of the times their parents were drug addicts. They weren't always involved with their families. A lot of them were sexually abused as minors already to begin with. And they had no recourse. They were intimidated, witness intimidation, private investigators following them. A lot of them were just offered basically settlements up front, and they were bullied and harassed, and their lawyers said, take it, just take the money. And the people who should have been fighting for them, the district attorney, the state attorney, they just weren't.
Yeah. And that's absolutely the case. There's a clip going viral. I'm not going to share it with you guys, but there's a clip going viral on TikTok of a 13-year-old who gave her testimony. She was on camera. It was a deposition style, like she gave her testimony, and then she ended up backing out of her claims. But she claimed, she made the worst claims, and she said they were intimidating her, and she no longer wanted to pursue charges. And this was years before Trump ran for office. This was years before the Epstein thing was sort of a mainstream conversation happening. So it was all out there, and it was just buried, and now people are re-looking into things. And we even have the most hardcore of MAGA supporters, Speaker Johnson, who probably has to wear knee pads due to all of the filleting he's doing of Trump's big, beautiful bill. Here's what he has to say about the Epstein files.
I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. Look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject, but we should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And Pam Bondi, I don't know. When she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities. So let's get this thing resolved.
I would say that a pedophile ring, a blackmail scandal is a big priority, especially if it involves government officials, especially if it involves billionaires and other powerful men. Absolutely. There's a reason why the country is coming together. The country's coming together the way they did after the Luigi Mangione tragedy. Again, no one's saying what Luigi allegedly did was the right thing to do. Of course, he's awaiting trial, but people were fed up with the ridiculous scam we have across our country known as health insurance. And that issue affects all of us in the lower and middle classes. Upper class, maybe you can just pay cash whenever you blow your knee out. But for the rest of us, these things matter. And folks don't want to be pissed on and told it was raining. And that's exactly how they feel like what has happened here. Here we have an update. Again, just continuing to hear from people not accepting the narrative. Here's what Matt Walsh had to say.
I want to make this very clear to those on the right, including the president himself, who are telling us to just drop the subject and move on.
No.
We can't drop it. We can't move on. Because what we want is justice.
By the way, that sounds exactly like what my wife would say if, listen, you didn't put the towel in the hamper and now the bed's wet because you left the towel on the bed. I can't move on. I need justice. Now, all joking aside, he's absolutely right. We need to not forget what's happening right now. We need to save energy for all of the other things going on, but this has to be a daily conversation. And for, Mike Johnson, to say, no, I think we should do the right thing. Well, the Republicans voted against releasing the Epstein files. And Marjorie Taylor Greene says, no, we had to vote against it. It was a procedural issue. Well, bring the vote back. Let's do the vote again. What they've shown before is they'll vote time and again until they get the right answer. Bring the vote back. I want to know every single person that has a problem with bringing the Epstein files to light. The public need to know.
We have a deep desire for justice. And we can see how the corrupt and the powerful are never held accountable. We can look at our cities and see violent criminals running rampant in the streets, also not held accountable. We want these evildoers to be punished. We want the innocent to be defended. We want justice.
Pretty simple stuff. Don't want to beat a dead horse here. But now we've got an update from Eric Swallwell. He says it's time for Republicans to use their subpoena power to be transparent with the American people. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They control the House. They control the Senate. They control the executive branch. There is literally nothing stopping them from having that energy to fight for the people, to clean up our streets and expose this scumbag and anybody who is associated with him.
What are you promising to unearth that they have buried?
So we're actually trying to do that in about 15 minutes here. There's a vote in Congress that would release the files. The Republicans defeated it last night in the Rules Committee. It will be on the floor at 1:30. So if Marjorie Taylor Greene and everyone who's been interviewed really wants these files released, they will vote to release them. And again, it's just put the files out there. I don't know what are in the files. I know that the president has said they exist. I know the attorney general has said they exist. I'm not worried about what's in the files. Elon Musk tells us why Donald Trump is worried, but House Republicans who have a subpoena power, they should use that power and be completely transparent with the American people.
And what was the result of that vote? Well, 211 House Republicans vote to block the release of the Epstein files. Again, we covered this Monday night. There was I think 9 or so voted to block what would have been, I think it was going through the Rules Committee. And now this in the House of Representatives, House Republicans didn't even want to allow debate on whether the Trump administration should be required to release the files. There it is. They blocked the Democratic attempt to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. 0 Republicans supporting the measure. The final vote was 211 to 210. One Republican with a spine would have tipped the scale and given the American people greater transparency on the Epstein saga. At this point, it has reached fever pitch. There must be more to the story. Here we have the report that 3% of people are satisfied with what the hell is going on right now. now, and I am not surprised. Who the hell are these 3%?
I feel like the count on Sesame Street, just 3% of Americans are satisfied so far with the amount of information released. The clear winner in this particular case is 50%. Half of the public is dissatisfied, at least so far.
And they should be. And they should be. Well, here's Tim Burchett. We've been covering all of the sort of MAGA Republicans that are flipping on Trump. We have Speaker of the House Mike Johnson, and now we have Tim Burchett. He basically, Trump says everything, we should move on from this, and he says, I don't really know. And again, it's very hard to get someone to share their actual thoughts, and sometimes, they miss the talking point. And at this point, maybe he'll change his mind, but right now, here's what he thinks.
Investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly. I mean, that's not over the top either. I'm ready. I'm over it. It disgusts me. I'm big on clarity and transparency, and that's a good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. I don't. I don't trust them.
There it is. He says, I don't trust him. Now, this is a surprise to hear because, pretty much on every other cause, everyone's perfectly in lockstep. Now, I do want to push back on, Mike Johnson and Tim Burchett and everyone who says, the Republican Party wants transparency. We want justice. We want all of these things. Well, Trump yesterday said they want to redistrict parts of Texas so that during the next vote, they can pick up 5 more House seats. They know they're going to take a shellacking. They know they're going to lose. And yet we're watching literally them explain voter fraud. Now, gerrymandering might be legal in some ways, the way they cut up different districts in order to water down a vote. It might be legal, but it is still voter fraud. We need to find ways to redistrict the whole country in an honest way with technology. This should not be hard. We should find a way to do it without human error. Either way, here is Jasmine Crockett addressing the GOP redistricting plan in Texas that is meant to mute minority voices.
Of common interest, as well as just blatantly say we are going to dilute minority voices. So we know that the courts, ever since we've had a Voting Rights Act, have always found this state to be intentionally discriminatory. That is what they are going to do. So I need people of color to understand that the scheme of the Republicans has consistently been to make sure that they mute our voices so that they can go ahead and have an oversized say in this. So I fully anticipate that's exactly where they're going with this map. It's the only way to do it. We didn't understand how we got to the map that they gave us last time because that state was grown by 95% people of color.
Yeah, it's an absolute crime. They put together a big, beautiful bill. They know it's bad for the middle class. They know it's the biggest transfer of wealth from lower and middle class to the upper class, tax breaks for the wealthy, trillions of dollars in added debt. The military industrial complex keeps increasing. They know all of this. They're going to take 17 million people off of their Medicare. They know all of this, and they know they're going to take a shellacking at the midterms. So rather than do what's right for the people, they're going to divide the people in a way that they continue to benefit. That is a rigged system, folks. And my only thought is, and they're discussing this, if Texas can do it, so can California. And you don't want California to redistrict. They can make up for that tenfold. It could get real ugly out there, folks, if people in different states start fighting this gerrymandering fight. And you might say, oh, Dave, in the past, the Democrats have gerrymandered and the Republicans. I don't care. As a father to a young, beautiful son, I say, knock it off. Knock it off, quite literally. Let's put our bright minds together and find a way to make it so that everyone's vote is equal. What a shocking idea. All right, I'll be back this afternoon. You can catch me on Patreon if you want to join us for the private membership-only live stream, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Otherwise, I'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.